Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Elmary Gladens, Assistant Professor from School of Computing, Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology. In today's session, we are going to see about decision tree using classification. Before moving on to this session, let us all understand the concept of classification. Classification is basically a learning. Learning can happen in the form of supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, and reinforcement learning. First, we will see what do you mean by supervised learning. Supervised learning is where you have input variable x and output variable y, and you use an algorithm to learn the mapping function from input x to the output y, which is represented by y is equal to f of x. Supervised learning can be in the form of classification and regression. Classification separates the data, regression which fits the data. In case of classification, new data is classified based on the training set. Initially, you will be provided with a data set, and the data set must be divided into training set and testing set. While you are dividing them into training and testing, you can have the thumb rule as 70-30 or 80-20. Next, unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning, you will be provided with only one variable, that is input variable alone. You will not be provided with the output variable. That's the reason we will say unsupervised learning will not have a class label in it. Unsupervised learning can be in the form of clustering and association. What do you mean by clustering? Grouping up of similar data based on the principle of maximizing the intra-class similarity and minimizing the inter-class similarity is called as clustering. In case of clustering, what we are going to do is we are going to find the existence of the classes or clusters in the data. Next comes association. Association uses the property of a priori, which states that any non-empty subset of a frequent item set must also be frequent. Classification and prediction. First, we will see what do you mean by classification. Classification predicts categorical class label. Main goal of classification is to construct a model based on training set and use that model for classifying the new data. It is coming under supervised learning process. Prediction models continuous valued function, that is, it predicts unknown or missing values. Typical applications of classification and predictions are fraud detection, credit or loan approval, image classification, target marketing, sentiment analysis, treatment effectiveness analysis, medical diagnosis, and so on. There are two steps in classification. The first one is model construction and the next one is model usage. First, we will see what do you mean by model construction. Here, we are going to describe the set of predetermined classes. Here, each tuple or sample must accompanied by a class label. The set of tuple used for model construction is your training set. The output of the model will be in the form of classification rules, decision trees, or mathematical formulae. Next, model usage. This model usage is used for classifying the future or unknown objects. The main goal of this model usage is to find out the accuracy of the model which is constructed in the previous step. Here, the known label of test sample is compared with the classified result from the model. Accuracy rate is the percentage of the test samples that are correctly classified by the model. Say for example, if you're going to test 10 test set with the model and it has predicted only 8 sample correctly, the accuracy of the model which is constructed in the earlier stages 80%. Test set is independent of the training set, otherwise overfitting occurs. Two steps which are explained already are diagrammatically represented here. The first step is model construction. Here the input is your training data. Training data will have all the attributes along with their class label, and these are fed to the classification algorithm. Based on the classification algorithm, the model has been constructed. Here the classifier model will be in the form of classification rule. For example, If rank is equal to professor or years is equal to 6, then tenured is equal to yes. This is the sample output which we have been extracted from the classifier model. Second step is use the model in prediction. Here, input is your test data which will be fed to the classifier, and through this classifier you can able to find out the unseen data. For example, unseen data which has been predicted from the classifier is name is equal to Jeff, professor equal to 4 and his tenure is yes. This is the sample unseen output data which has been extracted from the classifier model. Issues in classification and prediction, data cleaning, relevance analysis, data transformation, and so on. First, we will see what do you mean by data cleaning. Data cleaning is done to reduce the noise and handle the missing values. Next, relevance analysis. It is otherwise called as feature selection. Here, you are going to remove the irrelevant or redundant attributes. First, we will see what do you mean by irrelevant. Irrelevant means attributes which are not related to the particular application is called as irrelevant attributes, and the repeated attributes are called as redundant attributes. Next, data transformation. It can be done in the form of generalization and normalization. Generalization uses the concept of concept hierarchies. Here, low-level primitives are converted into high-level concept. Say for example, low-level primitive street can be converted into high-level concept like city or state. Normalization is done to standardize the data. It ranges from -1 to 1 or 0 to 1. Classification technique is evaluated based on predictive accuracy, speed, robustness, scalability, interpretability, precision, recall, true positive, true negative, false negative, and so on. The ability to predict class label correctly is called as predictive accuracy. Computation cost, which is incurred using the model, and constructing the model is called as speed. The ability of the model to make correct prediction even though there is a noise presented in the data, and data with missing values called as robustness. Scalability refers to the ability to construct the model efficiently given large amount of data. Level of understanding and insight provided by the model is called as interpretability. Now we are moving on to classification by decision tree induction. First, we will see how decision tree looks like. Decision tree is a flowchart like tree structure. Here, internal node denotes a test on an attribute which is considered as the root node. The outcome of the root node is your branch. Leaf node represent class labels or class distribution. Decision tree generation consists of two phases. The first one is tree construction and the next one is tree pruning. As the name says, tree construction is used to construct a tree. Initially, all the training examples are at the root. That's the reason we say that it uses the concept of top-down approach. It partitions the example recursively based on the selected attributes. Next phase is tree pruning. Here we are going to identify and remove branches that reflect noise or outliers. Uses of decision tree is classifying an unknown sample. This is a sample data set which you are going to use for decision tree induction. Here there are 4 attributes and 1 class label. Attributes are named as age, income, student and credit rating, and the class label is Bice computer. Age has 3 categories such as less than or equal to 30, 31 to 40 and greater than 40. Income has 3 categories. They are low, medium and high. And student has 2 categories, yes and no. And credit rating also has 2 categories, fair and excellent. And the class label is in the form of 2 categories such as yes or no. This is the sample output for decision tree. Here, age is the root node or splitting attribute. You will come to know why age has been taken as the splitting attribute. while we are performing the numerical examples for decision tree. Here, student and credit rating are called as internal nodes and yes and no are the class label or class descriptions. Decision tree induction algorithm. This is the basic algorithm. It is also called as a greedy algorithm. Here, tree is constructed in a top-down, recursive, divide and conquer manner. Initially, all the training examples are at the root. This is the reason we'll say that decision tree induction algorithm always uses the concept of top-down, recursive, divide and conquer method. Here, attributes must be in the form of categorical. If continuous valued attributes are given, you have to convert those continuous valued attribute into categorical values in advance. Examples are partitioned recursively based on selected attributes. Test attributes are selected on the basis of heuristic or statistical measure. Statistical measure which we are going to use in decision tree induction algorithm is information gain. There are three conditions for stopping partitioning. The first one is if all samples for a given node belong to a same class, or there are no remaining attributes for the further partitioning, or there are no samples left. If any one of these criteria exist, we can stop the partitioning. Attribute selection methods are information gain, gain ratio, and Gini index. In case of decision tree induction, we are going to use the attribution selection method as information gain. Now we are going to see how we are going to calculate the information gain for decision tree induction algorithm. As a first step, you need to check all the attributes are in the form of categorical or not. If not, you have to convert those attributes into categorical. Then you have to select the attribute with the highest information gain. First, we will see what do you mean by information gain. Information gain is defined as difference between the original requirement, that is encoded from the class distribution, and new requirement, that is encoded from the attribute values. Here we are going to use two formulas to find out this information gain, because information gain formula is info of D minus info of D for the particular attribute A. First we will see how to calculate info of D. This info of D is purely based on class description or class label. We are going to use the formula as summation I is equal to 1 to m pi log of pi base 2. Since information is encoded in bits, you have used log of pi base 2, that is log base 2 function here in case of info of D. Then next we are going to use the formula to find out the info of D for the particular attribute A, which is calculated using the formula J is equal to 1 to V determinant dj by D into info of dj. Again, this info of dj is your entropy formula. Only thing you need to know the determinant of dj by d. Here j is equal to 1 to v varies from the categories of the attributes. If there are 3 attributes in the data set, j varies from 1 to 3. It is based on the categories which is presented in the data set. This is the sample data set which is given in the problem to construct the decision tree. As a first step, we have to check whether the class label is presented in the problem data set or not. Yes, class label is presented. There are two categories, yes and no categories. Along with that, there are 4 attributes. Those are age, income, student, and credit rating. Those attributes are also presented in the form of categorical. What is our goal? We have to find out the splitting attribute. To find the splitting attribute, we are going to find the information gain. Information gain is calculated using the formula info of D minus info of D for the particular attribute A. So first info of D must be calculated. Info of D is calculated using the formula minus summation I is equal to 1 to m pi log of pi base 2. Here probability of Bayes computer is in the form of two categories, yes and no. Then we have to check how many S categories are there and how many no categories are there. I varies from 1 to 2 since there are two categories in the class label, that is yes and no. First we are going to check how many S categories are there. If you are checking yes for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 S categories. So the probabilities of S categories is 9 among the 14 sampled. So from here now we are going to substitute in this form, substitute these in the formula. Minus summation I is equal to 1 to m pi log of pi. Here the probability of S category is 9 among the 14 sample. Log of 9 by 14. This is for the yes category. This whole part is for the yes category and this part is for the no category. This part is for the no category. So among 14 sample there are 9 yes category. Obviously you will come to know there are 5 no categories. Since 9 categories are the yes, the remaining 5 are no categories, and we have applied these probabilities to the entropy formula, that is minus summation I is equal to 1 to m pi log of pi formula. Here 9 by 14 is the probabilities of X category and 5 by 14 is the probability of no category. After calculating all these, you will get the answer as 0.940 bits. Now this info of D is constant for all the attributes. Now your work is to find out the info of D for each and every attribute presented in the data set. Here we are going to calculate info of D for the attribute age. As we all know, age is categorized into three: young age, middle age and senior. Now we are going to check how many young age are there in the data set. If you look into the data set, there are 5 young age people, 4 middle age people and 5 senior people. What is the formula for info of D for the particular attribute? Summation J is equal to 1 to V determinant of dj by D into info of D. Here summation J is equal to 1 to V, which is varies from 1 to 3. That is, the first category is young, the next one is middle age and the next one is senior. So you will be provided with 3 parts. This is for the young age people, this is for the middle age people and the last one is for the senior people. The first part is J is equal to 1, the second one is J is equal to 2 and the third one is J is equal to 3. So J is equal to 1, which represent the young age people. There are 5 young age people in the data set. That's the reason we have given here as 5 by 14. 14 is the total sample. In this 14 total sample, there are 5 young people are there. Then what we have to do? We have to use this. This is your determinant of dj by D into entropy formula. Entropy formula is what? Minus I is equal to 1 to m pi log pi. This entropy formula is purely based on what? It is based on the class distribution. So there are two categories, S categories and no categories. This up to this part is for the S category and this part is for the no category. So among this 5 young people, how many people are coming under S category? Bias computer is equal to S category. And how many people are coming under bias computer is equal to no category? If you look into the data set, you can easily find that there are 2 people, they are coming under S category and 3 people are coming under no categories. This 5 is the young people. Total young people is 5 from the data set. In that 5, 2 people or 2% can buy a computer, 3% cannot buy a computer. That's why here in the entropy formula we have used minus 2 by 5 log of 2 by 5 base 2. Then 3 minus 3 by 5 log of 3 by 5 base 2. This entire part is for your young category. This entire part is for your young category. Next one is the next category in the age age attribute is your middle age. Middle age, if you're considering the middle age, you have 4 middle age people in the data set. That's the reason it is given here as 4. 4 by 14. This 4 is total young people, total middle aged people presented in the data set among 14 sample. In this 4, how many people can buy a computer and how many people are not able to buy a computer, you have to find. This part is your entropy formula, that is summation I is equal to 1 to m pi log of pi base 2. Here, if you look into the data set, all middle-aged people can able to buy a computer. There is no categories in the class label. So that's why it is given here as what? Minus 4 by 4 log of 4 by 4 base 2. Since there is no categories in this middle-aged people, we have neglected that terms. This entire term is used in middle-aged. The next one is senior. Here the totally there are 14 sample. Among the 14 sample, 5 is categorized as the young people. 4 samples are categorized as middle age. The remaining 5 will be the senior. If you want, you can count from the data set. There are 5 people belong to senior category among the 14 sample. In this 5, 3% can buy a computer, 2% cannot buy a computer. This is the probabilities for yes computer and this is the probability for no computer. Thus, we have applied all these details in the formula. The formula which we are going to found for info of D for the particular attribute age is summation j is equal to 1 to V determinant of dj by d into info of D. Info of D is your entropy formula. That's the reason we have used the class distribution over here. Other than that, we have just used the categories of attribute presented in the age. Then now we are going to calculate the gain of age. Gain of age is calculated using the formula info of D minus info of D for the particular attribute age. Since info of D is constant for all the attributes, we found the info of D as 0.940 in the previous slide. That must be constant for all the attributes such as income, age, credit rating and student. Then info of D for the attribute age has been found as 0.694 bits. This 0.694 bits must be subtracted from info of D, that is 0.940 minus 0.694 and you have got the answer as 0.246 bits for the info of in gain of age attribute. Once again, I'll repeat the same. Information gain is calculated using the formula info of D minus info of D for the particular attribute age. In the previous step, we have found the info of D for the particular attribute age, that is 0.694 bits, 0.694 bits. This must be subtracted from the info of D, that is the entropy formula, which has been found using class distribution. That value is 0.940. Here we are going to subtract this 0.694 with 940 and you have got the answer as 0.246 bits. Similarly, you have to find for the other attributes such as income, credit rating and student. The gain of income is calculated as 0.029, gain of credit rating is calculated as 0.159 and gain of student is calculated as 0.048. Among all these 4 values, you have to find out which attribute has the maximum gain. See here, the first attribute, that is age attribute, has 0.246 bits. Gain of income has 0.029 bits. Gain of credit rating has 0.151 bits. And gain of student has 0.048. Comparing all the 4 values, you can easily find that the highest information gain has been found for the attribute age, that is 0.246. So you can very well say that the splitting attribute is your age attribute. From the values which you found using the previous slide, you can easily say that age has the highest information gain and it can be considered as a best splitting attribute. Based on that, decision tree has been drawn like this. Here, the age will be your splitting attribute. Since age consists of three categories, youth, middle-aged, and senior, all the values are represented here. Here, if you're considering the youth, there are two classes, yes and no classes, and senior also consists of yes and no class. But if you consider this middle age, all the class belongs to yes. So the branch middle aged is classified as a pure class. Repeat the same process for the youth and senior branch until all the branches of a tree turn into a S class. Hope you all understood the concept of classification and how to classify a data based on decision tree. Thank you all.